Yeah, yeah. I've already asked them, budget questions. How long you plan on staying here? I've asked them comfort questions, which the tech before me kind of really set it up. That the alley oop there, he took really good call notes, and actually
So
called me
good
when he was
call
on the
notes
job,
and did the 4
setting it
questions
up.
quiz.
Yep, and
Okay,
that and
so that's
yeah.
important.
Their numbers, their score on the home comfort questionnaire was only a 10. Like it wasn't massive.
Was it,
So
did it stay at 10 when you talked to them?
like there were the dust one that increased a little bit, the
Okay. So their
allergies,
numbers
and
went up a
then
little bit.
yeah, that one, and then the moisture issues. I dug a little bit deeper on that than the
Okay.
tech did, which is
No,
okay,
no, no,
but
no. It's not his job to
yeah,
reverse 3 times on every question.
I called
His
him
job
after and
is to
told him
get
if
them used to the questions so that when you
yeah,
go back, the ground is tilled.
yep, exactly. I called him after and I was like, if you set everyone up like that,
Right.
that would be perfect.
Well, and he's thrilled because he's getting what, 3% for the turnover?
Yeah, something like that. Yep.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
So some of these
Yeah.
techs recognize that if they do this well, they're going to get a really nice turnover.
Yeah. Your normal turnover, it's just ballpark, anywhere from, we'll say 10 to $15,000. And I literally, that's why I was so giddy yesterday. And I called you, is like, I literally sold these same exact jobs I sell on Comfort Consults, but I sold it on a free quote.
And it felt the
Um,
same, where you had the relationship
yeah,
and the people were on board and enthusiastic.
exactly.
And that is
Exactly.
so awesome to hear. Now, let me ask you, I know that you're
So,
limited on time.
yeah.
Uh, do you have an example where things don't go well because the tech didn't do their job well for you?
Yeah, that one that we are talking about today. So big thing is the comfort questionnaire
So they didn't ask the 4 questions.
questions.
Okay. Didn't have the homeowner set up
Static pressure is huge.
static. Didn't have them set up for that.
Yeah. And
Uh,
then
and then didn't
I'm a
have them
big fan of,
prepared with the opportunity to look at the 2 videos.
yeah. And that was the other thing I was going to add on to it. I'm a big fan. And if you set it up, let the homeowner know, hey, you're going to get some information in an email. We'd highly recommend that you read that in its entirety, which is something that called the good experience that we're talking about. That tech did that. And you could tell that they did that because I was able to kind of volley back and forth in conversation of things with inside of that email on the arrival, back and forth about it.
Okay. So
So,
the other thing that a good tech will do that or a good tech will not do that a bad tech, not bad tech, but bad setup, can have a tendency to do is be the hero and jump to conclusions about solutions, right? So what ended up
yes.
happening on this bad tech setup, as far as when you got, not only did they not have the 4 questions, not only
Yeah.
were the homeowners not prepared to read the email or look at the 2 short videos, but they were already
They were,
preconditioned what their solution was, right?
yeah. Yeah. So that one was again, like the likely load of the house. And that was a like 2,700 square foot home downtown Indianapolis. Has been an investor from California flipped the house, sold it. And what I've discovered is a lot of times they just kind of polish them, drywall, new floors, new light fixtures, and that's it.
Right.
And this house had a 100,000 BTU gas furnace and a 4-ton air conditioner, single stage.
Okay.
Well, it was trip and limit and was hitting lockouts.
So
So
100,000 is not too oversized for a 2,700 square foot old house. Like might be 20,000 for 20 to 40,000 oversized, but
Mhm.
why was it hitting lockouts? Is it because it also had ductwork too small?
Yeah, just terrible, like bad duct work
So
on the
the
returns.
tech should have known that by the static pressure.
Right. And then the they were misinformed that, hey, you add some returns, Bob's your uncle, you're good to go.
And that's only going
Which
to be
on
$1,000, and you pay this $500 for a comfort consult, and we'll credit it back to your $1,000 job.
Yeah, and then also on PSC systems, when you lower return static, that will increase supply static pressure, and there's no access to any other supply ductwork because it's all in sheetrock. So I
Oh,
just kept going back to,
they gotta
if we,
downsize their equipment unless they want to do some
yeah,
really big. Okay,
yeah, remodel the house again, essentially.
right.
And I went back to, they had they like you said, they have preconceived things that now are kind of glued into their head, and that's what they're stuck on. So I just went
So
back
that tech
to,
missed out on probably a $15,000 turnover
yeah, yeah,
because he opened his mouth when he shouldn't have, and he didn't open his mouth where he should have.
yeah. Sometimes the answer, I don't know. I'll get a guy out here that does. That answer will suffice.
Right.
Versus giving bad information or not good information. Because when a homeowner hears something from a technical aspect, they tend to gravitate towards that versus myself in a sales role, me going out there. You see what I'm saying? Back and forth
Yeah.
on that.
And that could have
So,
been a great free quote too.
yeah.
It didn't need to be a comfort consult anyway. You dropped out. I
And
think you
at,
muted.
yeah, yeah. I just,
That could have been a great free quote. You didn't need it to be a comfort consult.
no, no, I don't believe so. I mean, it's pretty, that likely load range is very good. And not only because you're giving them the low end and the high end, but you're educating them, and it's their decision, right?
Right. And in this case,
Um,
you would have told them, look, you can't get at your ductwork. So,
yeah,
so unless you think that you're like, do not lean towards oversizing because we got
yes,
to get this as small as possible. And then maybe you improve the house versus having to go backwards, tear out all this drywall that this flipper did.
hmm,
Um, yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
So I
Awesome.
guess the bringing it all home, the difference of the two is when they're set up well, it is very seamless and does not take uh, really much effort at all. You know, uh, the
That's
the
awesome.
the videos kind of do most of the heavy lifting for you. You
Okay.
know,
So,
so
long story short, you love free quote.
yeah, yeah, and
You're excited to see
especially right now when it's so cold, and
and busy.
my phone's been ringing nonstop since Saturday a lot about overheating systems because it's so cold. The furnaces are running constantly.
Oh, and they're
So
hitting high
especially
limit.
right
You
now
want
where,
them.
yeah, especially right now when it's 4 degrees or it's -4 outside, you don't have heat. Do you want me to pull a whole bunch of outside air in your house and wait, a day or so to figure out this comfort consult? The option's yours, or we can do this likely load range and provide you with some education,
Right.
and you can make a more rounded, educated decision. Because this is likely to, you're likely to have this equipment unless you move for 10 to 15 years.
Yeah, if you do it well, you're not going to be overheating that heat exchanger,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
on high limit and increasing the likelihood of cracking it.
yep, yeah.
So, would you say that the free quote process is a process that if the whole sales department used it, then everybody would know what happened when the salesperson was out at a house?
Yes, as long as all of it, as long as they're following the process and
And
documenting everything.
documenting it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah,
So would
that's the
that
big
make
part
for a
there
much
because
stronger sales department?
I believe so. The big thing is there would be no more of, well, you guys are the ones that did this. You guys are the ones that told me to do this. No, we didn't tell you to do that. We told you this is likely the likelihood of what's going on in your house. You know this house better than I do. I don't live here. I'm only going to spend about the next hour to an hour and a half with you. So let's get some information, let's document it, and then we'll go over the risk assessment. What would happen if you are uncomfortable, then shell work. You talk to them about all that stuff.
Right.
So I think that would be the biggest thing, is it would take away that, well, you guys did this, right? Because again, like I said, on the good experience, the job I had yesterday, I did not make that decision. I did not
So,
tell them to put in a 60K 3-ton in that house.
so
I gave them the
basically
likely
the
load.
process would inject responsibly avoiding responsibility into the sales force.
Yes.
Thank you.
No problem, Ted. I appreciate it.
I'm going to post this video today.
All right, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Sounds like a plan.
See ya.
Thanks, Ted.